What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Grim Horde. This is a very arcadey roguelike where you are the dark master of demons and orcs and goblins and skeletons and ghosts and all that kind of stuff. And your goal is to basically cascade across the land, annihilating everything that you possibly can before you are inevitably banished. This game is very beer and pretzels. That's the best way that I like to describe it. This is a game that's meant to be played on like a short sitting of like 8 to 10 minutes, and like you destroy as many cities as you possibly can, and you get a bunch of resources. You bring them back on into the tech tree, which is kind of limited for right now because this is a demo. But anyways, as a first look goes, there are some things to kind of be unlocked here. This demo is going to be freely available during the Steam Festival that's coming up next week, and so bookmark it. You know what I mean? If this ends up being something that you're like, yeah, this game looks really rad, make sure you remember till then so that you can check it on out once the festival rolls out. But if after watching this you didn't even want to do that, the link is down below. On top of that, you'll also be able to find a link to my Twitch stream and my Discord just in case you wanted to hang out live. But let's get grim with the creation of the Horde. This game is going to come at you pretty fast the moment that you start it up. And so I'm going to be doing some explaining here on the fly, but I apologize if I start to trip over my words or whatever, because this is very much a fast-paced game. And so anyways, we're gonna play. We've got to pick our Grim Lord. As of right now in the demo, it looks like there's 2 of them. I haven't quite figured out how I unlock the Sorcerer, but I do have like this kind of Sauron demon-looking guy. He summons goblins. He's got like these little mushroom, like Rastafarian guys over here, and then he's also got some kind of zombie that I literally just unlocked like 5 minutes before recording this video, so I haven't actually seen them or how they perform, but I did have to pay for their unlock, so I assume on a certain level they're better than my other units, because their spawn rates seem to be a lot lower. And so anyways, let's play. So here we are, we're on the edge of a village. Ultimately, the point of this game is that your Dark Lord doesn't really have a whole lot of agency. Instead, what you do is you fly around and you press the space bar. And if you're in an equitable spot, the space bar will mean that he drops a tower. And once you've dropped that tower, as long as you're near it, it will start to spawn units, just like the ones you're seeing down below, and then you can send them into the fray to destroy enemy houses, which is the ultimate goal of the game. Really, destroying enemy houses is pretty much the only way that you get any type of resources or meta currency to get stronger and continue to persevere throughout the game. As far as the little melee guys go, don't worry about them too much. The little melee guys, they can't hit you, as far as I can tell. Like, I've hovered on top of, like, a fat stack of melee units, and I've never taken any damage. What you do need to watch out for, though, is the archers. The archers are going to be firing bullets, and those bullets are specifically meant for you. Those bullets have no collision with your army. They will not be stopped by the horde that is in front of you. Instead, you've just got to play bullet hell for a little bit while they're flying around. We're going to wait for this wave to be over, and it looks like we wiped out all these houses over here. These building bricks are what you use to upgrade your character in between runs, and then the little blue balls that you're seeing floating around all over the place are souls. Those have a twofold reference point. So the souls are used as a currency. Sometimes when you destroy a building, it'll open up like a dark portal, and you can go there, and you can spend your souls to upgrade. And then on top of that, the souls are also kind of your score. So at the end of the game, it'll tell you how many souls you reaped while you were fighting with the enemy. We're going to need to reposition a little tiny bit over here. Our army is taking its sweet time. I'm going to focus on dodging bullets for right now. On playing the game for about an hour prior to the recording of this video, I will say that the main problem that I've noticed so far is that the bullets are very, very difficult to see amongst all the chaos. I do think that they need to have their visibility somewhat increased, because I constantly feel like I'm getting hit by bullets that I just didn't see through kind of like the throng of combat that's taking place. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see it. There's one right there. At the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a number of things. Basically, the left one is the amount of souls that we have. The one on the right is the amount of meta currency that we've generated during this run. And then the middle is going to be our unit cap. How many enemies we can summon, have summoned, versus, you know, ultimately where we're going to stop at with all those summons. Let's go ahead and get a few more portals down real fast and get these gobbos going. All right, greenskins, let's go. Into the city. Forward. They kind of vaguely follow your position, in case you were wondering. Actually, we might be able to do like a little juke play right here while our army's fighting on the other side and just kind of like sneak them on the back end right here and destroy the houses. There we go. Perfect. That's going to be the portal right there that I was talking about that allows you to buy upgrades. And in fact, it might be a good idea to buy upgrades now. So when you go into the upgrade shop, it's going to draw a number of tarot cards. You basically look at the stat increases that you want to get, and you take those. I would like for my minions to be stronger, so I'm going to take that right there. They just got a speed and an HP increase. I'd like to increase my HP, and my speed would be really nice. Being faster, I think, just sounds fantastic. Are there any other first steps? Yeah, I'll take that one. And then Workers' Rights 2 is going to cost me 400 souls. Okay, we got a little bit of upgrades right there. You get a little bit of visual validation as well. I like to set up on the opposite of the side of wherever the arrows are coming from. That's just kind of like my preference. I'm going to set up just a big array of portals over here so that we have a nice reinforcement zone. And as the archers sneak around, I'm going to reposition again. Some of the archers are getting cut down, which is good. I need to get in here and gather some of these souls, though. I don't like the graying out of the screen as you take damage. I'm not a big fan of kind of like visual indicators of health status. I find that most of them have this tendency to become obnoxious over time, like heartbeats, like an undulating screen, like red stuff kind of creeping in from the edges. Like, I have a health bar. I've never really understood why I have the need for extra stuff like that, and so hopefully I'm hoping that they'll add a toggle option so that you can get rid of that because the graying out of the screen and the washing out of everything. I'm gonna grab that health potion right there just to return a little bit of saturation to the screen. Keep on fighting, boys, keep on fighting. We've gotten 50 resources. That's not bad. We're doing okay right now for 4 minutes on into a run. I am gonna need to suss out another portal to upgrade my units pretty soon, and I have found that that's where you do get the maximum return, is by kind of upgrading your units, not yourself. One thing I would like to see from the game is that there's a real lack of agent. Like, I don't feel like a Dark Lord. I would like to see the addition of some kind of like spells or some kind of thing that I can use hotkeys to cast on the battlefield in exchange for like souls. I think that would also introduce kind of like an interesting risk-reward mechanic because you're using your currency to buy upgrades for your army to get like a rain of meteors or whatever that wipes out a bunch of enemies, or chain lightning for 5 minutes, or I'm sorry, not 5 minutes, but like 30 seconds that randomly arcs off your character and kills things that are all around you, but that's costing you, you know what I mean? Like, every time you cast one of those things, you're using your strength to kill enemies instead of using your strength to bolster your army. And I think that's actually kind of what the game needs, is it just needs a few more kind of structural risk versus reward mechanics. Like, just a little bit more backbone to it, I guess. And I don't mean that in the common respect of saying like something needs more backbone. Instead, what I mean is that it just needs a few more pieces of kind of like structural rebar to make the whole thing feel a tiny bit more organized, I guess, or structured. We're going to kind of hang out. I think we've got another wave coming on in. Speaking of the waves, I think I haven't been watching the timer, but the waves seem to happen every minute or so from as far as I can tell. I would like to see a timeline. So War Pips is a game that did this very, very well. Having like a timeline at the top that basically regenerates itself and procedurally recreates itself whenever it reaches the end of the timeline, with little colored areas like green, yellow, red for like the strength of the wave that's going to be coming on in, so that the player has some idea whether or not they should batten down the hatches and get ready for a slugfest, or if they should push out and try to wipe out more houses would be nice as well. As of right now, you just got to kind of feel it out moment by moment, but let's see if we can get these houses over here. I'd like to get a few more of these knocked out. The game does progressively get worse the further on in, and I don't mean qualitatively. I mean that the enemy and the way that they fight back against you is definitely going to get thicker, and they get elites, and they get upgraded units, and they get heroes, and they get bosses and stuff like that that are very much linked to how far into the game you are with this time up here. And so anyways, keep an eye on that as well, because it can definitely get pretty wild and crazy out there. I do want to upgrade my minions. I think that's a good place to start. I'll take the extra HP and the speed and the pickup range too. I don't really want to pay 500 for that. Just doesn't seem worth it to me. 600 for... Ooh. Okay, yeah, 600 for 20 more minion cap sounds really good. And then 90 in order to increase the attack power of our mushrooms by 75% sounds really good too. I'll definitely take that. And then let's go ahead and we'll just take Grimlord's Treat real fast just to get it off the table. Another big upgrade right there. As you're picking up upgrades, another thing that I think would really be cool is like a visual upgrade to your character. As you sort of, I know that's going to necessitate the creation of a lot of sprites, and it may not be feasible. But that having been said, I've always liked having some visual sense of progress as my character gets stronger. I've got to loop up all these archers. like, away from the front, basically, because they're going to start getting freebie hits off on me. Actually, it looks like most of the archers are over that other way. All right, let's put down some portals over here. I'm going to try to focus on dodging bullets for the time being, but no guarantees. The bullets get kind of thick in this game. Like, it's very much a game that's sort of like, you know, Smash TV. You're supposed to be dying frequently and quickly. And so anyways, don't get upset if you get took down. Happens to the best of us Dark Lords. I wanted to take out that city over there, but it's just not going that way. Come on, boys. Get in here. Yep, get you some. I'm going to gather some souls real quick. We've got like a nice opening on this back end. Double entendre opportunity. All right, there we go. Perfect. We've got like 1,000 souls on us. There's a health potion up here and a few more meta currencies. Let's go ahead and get the front moved forward. Oh, they're bringing in the heroes. Never mind. Okay, we got like a big problem. We got to hold. We got to hold real hard right here. Luckily, it does look like we're holding. Oh, man, the chaos. It's getting wild and crazy out here. Luckily, we killed off all the archers, so it's not really that big of a problem. We can just kind of, like, hold the line and annihilate the enemy as necessary. But I think we're looking okay. I would like to gather up as many of these souls as I possibly can in case we unlock a store sometime soon. There we go. Nice, satisfying feedback on both the sound and the pickup of the souls right there. Okay, let's move this a little bit closer to the realm of engagement because we got to get these houses down at some point. There we go. We killed off a house, and there is a portal. What do we have? We've got ourselves First Steps again. I'll take it. We've got Grimlord's Treat again. I'll take it. We've also got Shroom Man and Grimlord Speed. Okay. Take both of those. And then we've got Power to the Goblins. 200% attack power on our goblins. Hell yeah. We've got Engineering, so portal towers activate quicker and they spawn from further away. We can unlock Skeletons. Let's get those. We'll get Goblin attack. Take it all, man. Throw it all on the cart. All right, so Goblin attack power, Skeleton attack power. Skellies haven't really gotten much love, so I'm going to go with Activation Tower Speed and Skeleton Love. Skeletonic Love. Oh, yeah, those towers are going up much quicker. All right, cool. Well, we've almost got 100 resources to play around with. Let's find the next hamlet with which to dance and see if we can wipe it out. There we go. Oh, they brought in the hero archers. Their bullets fly further, they deal more damage, and they're quicker and kind of wilier and harder to get your hands on. I'm going to get towards the back of the battlefield over here. I don't know if it's going to help. It looks like they're encircling me. Yeah, they're pretty quick, unfortunately. I think staying away from the archers is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm just going to kind of like drift around the edges, and I'm going to put down towers like all over the place. We appear to be holding anyways, so we're not really losing units. So I think we're actually winning this right here. Oh, I didn't want to trigger that yet. Okay, we've got apparently coffee for the Grimlord. I'll go ahead and take that. And I don't have enough money for anything else. So unfortunately, I kind of wasted that store a little bit. Wish that I hadn't, but that's just the way she goes sometimes. I'm going to dash through the middle right here, which is horrifically dangerous because I want my resources. Luckily, I can say that that was the right choice because I was not punished for it. If I had been punished for it, I would have said something like, oh, that was a terrible choice. I'm bad at gaming. Yuck, yuck, yuck. But it worked out, so I don't have to say that thing, which makes this a good day as far as the context as my videos goes. All right, so we'll go over here. I'm just going to keep, like, circle strafing around the melee. It looks like they're killing my towers kind of, like, faster. Oh, we got one of our skeletons right there. Unfortunately, the screen's grayed out by the low health effect, so I can't really, like, look at the sprite or enjoy it. But, like, maybe someday when I get a healing item. There is an unlock that makes you regenerate HP if you don't take damage for a little while. I just haven't, like, unlocked it yet, but it is the one that I'm looking forward to the most. Largely, oh, we only have 4 units left. That's not great. Okay, yeah. I'm going to have to put down some towers, and I'm going to have to, like, dance, baby. Yeah, just come back over here, get a few more units in. Okay, we're back up at unit cap. We'll just let them do their thing. Oh, there's like a cathedral over there. I actually didn't see that in the time that I was testing the game prior. Cool. Health potion right there. Definitely take that. Grab some of those resources down here. Looks like our combatants are holding up here at the top, kinda. Actually, we're going to need to replenish. Okay, that's fine. This is how I like to replenish right here. I just do like a zigzag Z formation while going upwards or downwards to avoid bullets, and then I just let them all respawn. If you guys could like take out, no, no! I got snuck. I got snuck. It wasn't my fault. All right, we gathered 100 resources right here, so let's see what we can do with them. We got 160 upgrades right now. I want, it's 500 for the health regen. Brutal. Okay, we can get plus 25 units right here, which I think sounds pretty good. Yeah, let's get some more units. Units are always nice. Haven't unlocked a new character yet. I guess we'll find out when we get him. Let's go ahead and spawn up some units here, get this thing going. Oh no, dude, I'm like a slow sluggy boy again. Lame, bro. I got so used to having all my upgrades and gliding like an eagle, so free on the breeze. Now I'm all clunky. I'm like a turkey, just kind of puzzling his way through flight for the first time. I don't know if you've ever seen turkeys fly before. I grew up around huge herds of turkeys. My family had like a bunch of them. They were basically domesticated. They would come down from the hills and you could like feed them by hand and like pet them and stuff. But anyways, turkeys are terrible at flying. Turkeys don't fly so much as they orchestrate kind of like a controlled crash. Like it's interesting watching turkeys because they can't fly unless they get on top of like a hill or up into like a tree, and then they just kind of throw themselves out of it and they open their wings up and they kind of just like hope they land where they land. But they don't fly in the same way that like a buzzard does, or like an eagle does, or like a blackbird does. Like they kind of glide for a little bit before they lazily and kind of lackadaisically are like, that's good enough, close enough to the target. And honestly, I can respect that about turkeys. I'm pretty lazy. I mostly just want to sit around all day eating Doritos. And so I feel like that's one of those things that I can really get on board with. Turkeys, you're doing your best, and we've all noticed, okay? Don't let anybody talk down at you, turkeys. Okay, so we've got a little bit of stuff right there. I wonder if I can turn off the CRT monitor thing on the sides. Let's see here. I turned off the scan lines because I can't stand scan lines in games. But it doesn't look like you can actually turn off the edge rounding right there to give the game the appearance of being watched through like a monitor or whatever. But I would like to get rid of that. That would be a good option. I've never really liked stylizations along the corner like that right there. I grew up in the 80s. I had a black and white TV when I was a kid. Like, I lived through it. I don't need to see it in video games, you know what I mean? Yes, that's definitely what TVs looked like back when, you know, TVs were an inferior medium to how they are now. That's definitely how they looked prior to the much superior flat screens. Alright, so killing off enemies here. Looks like we're kind of like juggling a wave right now. I'd like to move on and find more people to slaughter for their souls. Unfortunately, I think we have to make like a stand right here. There we go. Luckily, I've got a really, really good wall of summoning towers going. I'd like to pick up my souls, but unfortunately, there's archers everywhere shooting bullets at me. Please stop shooting bullets at me. All right, let's go find something to pillage. We need more resources. We're, like, not doing a good job right now as a Dark Lord. I'm actually going to be really, really, really risky right here, and I'm going to stay in the field of fire with all the bullets that are coming off these houses, sort of in the hopes that my minions will go and kill those houses. You don't have any real direct control over your minions. They sort of, like, vaguely follow you around, but you can't trust them to really do exactly what it is you have in mind. And so really the game's got sort of a Pikmin-esque vibe to it, where it's sort of like herding cats some of the time, where you're like, okay, minions, do the thing I need you to do. Ah, Archer snuck me right there. Didn't see the bullet. And now we're stuck with gray screen again. Lame. Oh, my minions got trounced. Rip. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to need to get some more towers down then. Get these numbers replenished a little bit. Make the army look a little bit more horde-like. Our horde is not looking quite so grim right now. There we go. Our horde's been replenished. We're back up at unit cap. I will say that the extra 25 units we got from that skill do seem to be helping. Like the engagements in the early game, which are sometimes a little touch and go, they seem to be going pretty well for us right now with the addition of 25 more guys. And so I'll take that. I'm going to try to move up this way so that at least we're fighting on the periphery of this house. Put one in the middle right there. Till I get a little bit more speed, dodging bullets is going to be somewhat, like, difficult to do. The house is indeed down. I'm going to try to gather some of these souls right here. As of right now, we haven't been lucky enough to get a store. Hopefully we will get one, but we haven't gotten one yet. I'm going to go for replenishment over here. Just make like a little 5 grid. There we go. 5 grid down. There are no archers around, so we should be good to push up on the enemy here. The hitboxes do seem to work okay as far as your character and dodging bullets goes. I think they could be tightened up like a little bit from what I'm seeing so far. Like there's definitely, it seems like, I don't know, there's 2 different strategies for flat games like this when it comes to bullets. Basically, you can make the bottom half of the sprite a hit zone, so that bullets can pass behind the character sprite and lend the game a sense of depth. Or you can make it so bullets hit the sprite anywhere from top to bottom and it doesn't really matter. You take the hit, you take the hit. And I'm having trouble figuring out which one the game has in play, because sometimes it does feel like bullets are going behind me, and then other times it feels like I'm just getting smacked, and so it's kind of hard to say. You guys getting those houses down, man? I was going to say, we're about to increase some housing market demand over here. That's the real overlord plot. That's what the real evil overlords do, is they just increase housing demand to the point where nobody can get a house anymore. We thought that he was coming for our lives. Instead, he was coming for our mortgages. Free! Few more resources right there. Let's get some upgrades, yeah? I'm going to go workers' rights, Grimlord's treat. First steps is always nice. I'll probably just go across the board and take everything I can get my greasy little fingers on. Oh, I wanted the minion cap. It's okay. We'll just unlock skeleton. That's fine. Okay, Dark Lord's been upgraded a little bit. I think we're, like, kind of winning that fight over there, but, like, I don't want to have a fight right there. I prefer to always keep my fights, like, somewhere near objectives that pay me. Like, if you're gonna do battle, you might as well be getting paid for it, you know what I mean? Put down another tower, and then ideally, I want to drag my minions over to here so that they're attacking houses and stuff. Perfect. Get some more souls. Oh my god, healing potion. I don't have to play washed out anymore. Oh, beautiful saturation. Colors. The lenses of my irises restored. Oh, frabjous day. I'm probably going to set up over here this time, because I am trying real hard not to get shot in the face. Actually, my army is, like, remarkably intact right now. Not sure how I ducked that bullet over. Okay, I didn't duck that one. That one was like a point blank to the face. I tried real hard, though. I believed. Yeah, let's just set up like a little holdout base over here. I don't know if I'll have time to get it set up, but I'm going to do my best. Trying to avoid bullets while simultaneously... Man, there's another archer right there. It's one of the gold ones, too, so they're hitting me like a truck. We do have a store down here. I didn't want to activate it yet, but okay. Let's go higher minion cap. I don't even care if I can't afford other things. I just want the higher minion cap. Go, my green skins. Fall upon the enemy with the fury of Gork and Mork. Fight seems to be doing... Oh, here comes a big wave. Okay, I lied. I was going to say, it appears as though the fight is going well, but I lied. Sources have confirmed that that was a lie. We'll get some towers up on this side where it's reasonably safe, so that we pincer the enemy when they res. There's like so many things going on right now. The game is quite good for visual spectacle, and you guys will know that I'm a big fan of sort of arena-styled spectacle games. I just can't help it. It's just something about huge scale that just makes a game fun. I would like to siphon off all these souls, just kind of while I'm in the neighborhood. A little bit of level up currency there. There we go, perfect. All right, we're going to drag the battle force over to this little cabin over here. and see if we can... Oh, there's a big house right there. And see if we can maybe drop a dookie on him over here. There we go. The dookie hath been dropped. We made 100 bricks on this one. Not bad. Not bad at all. So this looks like it's maybe a swordsman school. It also shoots more bullets. So that explains where all the swordy mans have been coming from. We've got the gold archers back up again. Unfortunate. Yeah, just kind of give me whatever. Ow. Okay. Yeah, I have no health now. And also, I'm dead. Gold archers are a tough one. Like, they move really quickly, they reposition around you, and they tend to encircle. Like, the gold archers are definitely where I tend to run into problems, especially given the fact that, for whatever reason, I have trouble seeing the bullets in this game. But anyways, those gold archers, man, they'll give you a little bit of a headache. What do we have over here? Do I have anything else in Cretus's Grim Lord? Okay. 150 right here, and we can get a higher chance to unlock, so it basically increases the chance we're going to draw the card that allows us to get the skeletons. Gotcha. I'm not super in love with any of these options, so I'm just going to run it back one more time. I want to know how we unlock this guy. That's what I want to know. How do maybe I have to survive to like 15 minutes or something. I bet you that's what it is. It's probably time-gated. But honestly, this is sort of an interesting take on the horde survival genre right here, where your character is not the bullet hell. Instead, your character is basically the spawner for like someone else's tower defense. And I like that idea. I think that's a good genre flop, basically, to go ahead and take an idea that's been done to death, i.e. like tower defense games, and turn it into basically you are the spawner now. The enemy has the defenses and the armies that are trying to stop you. And, you know, see how that juxtaposition basically changes up the core gameplay loop. And I think that's like actually a really good idea. It's fun. It's enjoyable. But like I said, from what I've played of the demos so far, I think it's promising. I think it's very promising, in fact. The game does not lose any performance whatsoever, even when there's just an absolutely absurd amount of goblins and things on screen, which is always one of those things you want to look for in a game like this. But like I said, I would like to see a little bit more structure to the game. A little bit more organization, basically. So stuff like the timeline that I mentioned earlier that lets you know like when a big stiff enemy wave is coming, and then things like a little bit of player agency too, like the ability to risk reward, use your souls to cast a spell that blows up like half the screen with like really cool pixel effects and whatnot. But at the same time, that's now money that you cannot spend on upgrading your army. Like, that sort of thing right there is what makes me scratch my chin and say, okay, I think this game is, like, on to something right now. And if they got it, like, tastefully done, where when you cast the spell, it freezes everything on screen for a second, zooms in on the Overlord, he, like, whips the staff around, and then, like, throws it up in the air or something, and then pillars of flame come down and just start to wander randomly across the battlefield, like, whoo, buddy, okay, then you would big time have my attention. Then I'd just be, like, I like the game, but I would be gushing if that was the case. So anyways, my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. This is a very early demo look at a game called Grim Horde. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it kind of flips, like, tower defense on its head and turns you into the spawner, and the enemy is having to defend you, and I sort of, like, dig that idea. Like, obviously there's no lanes and no zones of control or anything else like that, but still, I do think this is actually kind of a reverse tower defense. And so anyways, I think that's actually really fertile soil for interesting things to happen. The game is pretty arcadey. Like, it's definitely like a rapid-fire game. It's on the arcadier end of, like, roguelites. I would like to see some additional depth and maybe some more graphical kind of accompaniment added on into the game. Some interesting cards to, like, make your towers that spawn also shoot beams at enemies, or, you know, create corruption zones that slowly damage them, active abilities that you can throw around. Things of that nature I think would increase the game and give it a little bit of depth, especially if the magics were like elemental and some of the cards increase the damage on like your elemental casts, or like your tower shooting fireballs versus ice bolts and stuff like that. Like, I think there's definitely room here. Like, they have a wide open field in front of them. So that's the good news, is that the game is simple, it's arcadey, and I do find it to be enjoyable, but there's a lot of room here for them to add a lot more depth, and I think therein is going to be where the game shines or does not shine. Really, like, how many secrets can you cram on into this thing? How many, like, rare spawn buildings can you cram on in that you won't necessarily see every run, that maybe give you access to some new kind of unit? You know, like how many more cards and kind of upgrades that you can buy could they add so that you mix together the runs a little bit more? And I think they'll be on the right path. That being said, there's nothing wrong with the game being arcadey. I have sort of noticed this sentiment lately that, like, arcadey games themselves are, like, inherently bad. And, like, as a child of the 80s who grew up feeding quarters into, like, Turtles in Time and into Children of the Atom and, you know, like, Double Dragon and, like, pinball machines and stuff like that, I do think that there is room for arcadey games to exist. Like, sometimes, you know, you want a snack. Sometimes you want a full meal. You see what I mean? And that's kind of how it goes with gaming sometimes, too. And so anyways, I think they've got good bones here, and I think they've got a lot of room to effectively add more things to expand the game on out and increase the amount of depth and perhaps replayability the game will have going. But as far as a demo goes, I'm fairly pleased with this one right here. It doesn't tend to lag out or have any problems, like while you're staging large-scale battles against lots of enemies and whatnot. And that, honestly, is usually what I look for with stuff like this. Everything seems to run pretty smoothly, and thus far I have been enjoying my time, so I'll look forward to the 1.0 release a little bit later on down the line. This is Grim Horde. I hope you guys liked it. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, as I previously said, I really got to rework this outro, don't I? I say the game name twice. Oh well, it's Grim Horde. I'll see y'all tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet, but up until then, it's time for me to go. Bye, everybody.